All right, welcome to your beardless unique devotion. That's right. It was time to give a full shave, just sort of start over before we do the winter beard. So, looks a little different. That's okay. It doesn't matter. What matters is the scripture. That is the most important part. What I do with my face, it's not that. It's not really that important. It's just. It's not. Just having some fun. All right. So, today we are in 1 Timothy chapter 6. I'm going to read verses 1 and 2, and then I have a God question for you. And if you didn't already yesterday, I read through the entire chapter 6. I encourage you to go back and do that one first. It's always there if you ever want to listen to it again. And what we did there is just sort of in what I call an ingestion time to just sort of take in the words, sort of get our mind wrapped around what's going on a little bit, and just start to formulate what's going on. And then we break it down section to section, which we're doing today. So verses 1 and 2 of chapter 6 of the book of 1 Timothy. Let as many bondservants as are under the yoke count their own masters worthy of all honor, so that the name of God and his doctrine may not be blasphemed. And those who have believing masters, let them not despise them because they are brethren, but rather serve them, because those who are benefited are believers and beloved. Teach and exhort these things. Do you honor your boss? Here they're talking about bond servants, workers, and the masters, the boss. We don't necessarily have bond servants and masters. That does still exist in the world, believe it or not. But here in America, that doesn't happen on a very regular basis, I'm pretty sure. And the rest of the world is sort of the same way, though it does kind of happen in pockets. So, anyway, we're talking about your boss, you're the worker. Do you honor your boss? It is so easy to question what they're asking you to do. It's so easy to see another way of accomplishing things from your perspective, and then kind of gossiping about it in the background, like, I don't understand why he's making me do it this way, we could do it that way, or why is he doing things this way when it should be that way. What I find is that if you ask your boss, so why are you doing it that way, now you get his perspective, and it's going to make sense. I won't dive. Well, some of you know where I work, but some of you don't, and that doesn't really matter. But the owner of the company, for many years, I hear people saying, why is he doing that? He should be doing that, and griping and groaning about the work that they have to do. But what I find is I just go to him, not often, because I don't question very often. But when I do, I go to him and say, why that? Why did you decide to move that here and that there? And he always has an answer, which makes total sense, because from his perspective, he's getting information that I'm not privy to, that I'm not getting, and then he's making decisions according to that. And I'm only trying to make a decision and make sense of what I see without that information. So of course I'm going to see a different way, another way. But this is where honoring your boss comes into play. It doesn't honor your boss to gossip about them, him or her, behind their back and not ask them direct questions. It doesn't honor them to gripe and complain about the job that they're giving you, which pays your bills, which puts food in your mouth, puts a roof over your head. Think of the gratitude that if they didn't exist in their position and the owner didn't exist in their position, you wouldn't have a job for your position to take care of the things that are around you. And don't for a second think that God didn't place any of that anywhere, because he placed your boss and the owner exactly where they need to be so that you could be exactly where you are to have a roof and food to take care of your family. Now think about those things. Think about the gratitude. That's honoring your boss. And I think that's what they're getting at here. Because what we do on a regular basis is such a large part of our weekly life. 40 plus hours a week, 4 or 5 days, more than almost half the day of your waking day is spent at this place and the other half is at work. So when you're honoring your significant other at home, you should also be honoring the people that you work with. Now, I would encourage you to take this also to your coworkers, to anyone that's underneath you. It's not bad terminology, but anyone that you're in charge of, that you would place that honor idea on them too, and find ways to honor them instead of trying to control them and gossip about them. So that just things that happen in my life a lot, and I work through and deal with. And do you honor your boss? You don't even have to think real deep about that. Maybe just answer that question, yes or no, and then move on. So, on that note, I hope God gives you all the blessings you deserve. Even more so, all the blessings you don't deserve. Have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow, and it is time for me to go to work and do my best to honor my boss.